This is not my usual womb health video, but I feel that I need to lend my voice to the struggle. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. Yes, I said it, president, okay? I don't care what anybody has to say, that he doesn't deserve the presidential title because he took it illegally by coup. Who cares? Do you know the corrupt, evil, wicked leaders that was in parliament when he took over? That was stealing from the people? If you see some of the poverty in Burkina Faso, you have to say, do these people have a heart to be able to see such poverty, yet be piling money, these politicians, into their bank accounts and going abroad to be educating their children abroad, going abroad for medical care and private jets and all of this, and you are seeing the poverty of the people? Doesn't this I can't even speak. You know what? The English is not Englishing. Hey Lord, the English is not Englishing. My Ghanaianness is coming out of me because I'm that enraged. This guy has come in less than 3 years, 3 good years. He has cancelled. He's paid off the nation's debt. He has set up businesses, infrastructure, tomato manufacturers. He has produced his own gold. The farmers, he's given them seeds. He's nationalized farming. He's manufactured electric cars. You know, if I was to say all the things that he's done, we'll be here till Jesus comes, the amount of things this man has done. And he's only 36 years old, by the way. And you, Trump, you orange-faced Trump, you want to come and arrest him. Arrest him for what? You're saying that, oh, he's a dictator. Excuse me? If you want dictator, I can deliver dictators to you. There's plenty of African leaders that are dictators. Why don't you arrest them? Why don't you arrest the president of Congo? Why don't you arrest him? Why don't you arrest some of these African leaders that are corrupt, that are plundering the country, that's allowing you to plunder the country, that's selling the resources for cheap? Why don't you arrest them? Why are you not fast to go and arrest these people? But this man who has revolutionized his country, who does that? On Mother's Day, he went to visit the widows, gave them hope, gave them money, to the point that the widows are protesting that they do not want him to step down. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm calling all Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans, Australians, the Aborigines, Native Americans. I'm just calling all of you guys to get behind Ibrahim Traore. Don't let history speak ill of us. We missed it with Thomas Sankara. We sat back and we didn't do anything. We missed it with Patrice Lumumba. We sat back and we didn't do anything. We missed it with Gaddafi. We sat back and we didn't do anything. So many leaders, we sat back and we didn't do anything. Don't let history speak ill of us. Let our descendants be proud of us because we did something. Whatever you can do, even if it's small, do it. If you've got funds, fund the government. If you can go and visit there and give them your tourist money, go and visit the country. Don't mind Trump saying, oh, it's a dangerous country and you could get attacked. What about America then? Isn't your country dangerous? Come on, get out. Isn't your country dangerous? Visit the country. Yeah, if you can't visit the country, then at least forward posts, educate people, forward this one, forward other videos, put it on your WhatsApp, put it on your feeds. You know, spread the awareness, lend your voice to the struggle. Whatever you can do, it doesn't matter how small it is, do it. Look what happened when Ukraine went to war. People were changing their Facebook profiles to Ukrainian flags saying, oh, we are with you, Ukraine. Look what was happening in Palestine. Why can't we do it with Africans? We need to demonstrate. We need to put our foot down and say enough is enough. We're not going to take this rubbish anymore. Meanwhile, Ghana and Nigeria are fighting on jollof wars, and this is going on. You have energy to fight jollof wars. You've got energy for that. but you don't have energy to lend your voice to Ibrahim Traore, or you don't have energy to share and to post. My friend, no. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. We have to, Africans, we need to show these people. We need to show these people that you can't bully us anymore. The new generation is different. You can't do it anymore. Who's with me?
It's up to our generation to make a change. It's up to our generation to really make an impact. We cannot stand by and allow history to repeat itself. So, we have Macron who is out there, quarterbacking. Then we have Alassane Ouattara, the main squeeze puppet, carrying out orders. Then we have Damiba, the enemy on the inside, because he was part of the Burkinabe army at some point, and he was a former coup leader, right? So he has ties on the inside. Because how do you go and try to attempt to take somebody out 20 times? 20 times, because what has he done to you or your people that you feel like he's such a threat? Oh, because he's building hospitals in his country? Oh, is it because he is industrializing his country? Oh, is it because he's giving children and women free health care? Oh, okay. Oh, is it also because he has given the youth of the country free education all the way up to university level? Oh, I don't know. Do you feel threatened by what he's done or what he's doing for his people? So Captain Ibrahim Traore has ops all around him. We are not going to stand by and allow history to repeat itself. But for those of us in the diaspora and those of us on the continent of Africa, it's time for us to lock in as a people. Let's put our differences aside. So let's put our heads together. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's up to our generation to come together and to really stand for our leaders, protect our leaders in one way or another.
Been surprising and to some, unsettling. Why are so many civilians cheering these coups? In Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, people didn't just accept military takeovers. They celebrated them. Crowds filled the streets. Flags were raised. Military leaders were praised as liberators. So what's going on? The answer lies in something deeper than just politics. This is about trust and the fact that in many countries that trust in democracy is already gone. Here's why. One, elections haven't changed lives. Yes, many African countries hold elections, but what comes after? The same faces, the same broken promises, the same roads with potholes, the same schools without teachers, the same hospitals without medicine. For millions of people, democracy hasn't delivered development. So the question becomes, what's the point of voting if nothing ever changes? And two, corruption is still rampant. Democratically elected governments have not been immune to corruption. In some cases, they've become expert at it. Bribery, embezzlement, favoritism. These are not the exceptions, they are often the norm. So when a leader promises to clean house, people are willing to listen because they've already tried the ballot box and it didn't protect them from being robbed in broad daylight. And three, security is a daily struggle, right? In the Sahel, extremist violence has made daily life unlivable for many communities. Civilians have watched as democratically elected governments failed, sometimes catastrophically, to protect them from armed groups. So when a soldier says we're taking control to restore order, it doesn't sound like a threat. It sounds like a plan. 4, foreign influence breeds suspicion. There is also a growing feeling that many African democracies were never truly independent. They were heavily shaped, if not outright managed, by former colonial powers, foreign donors, and international institutions. And when those same foreign powers criticize military regimes while backing corrupt civilian ones, the people notice. and they start to question who democracy was really serving. So when civilians cheer a coup, they're not necessarily cheering military rule. They're cheering the end of something that no longer made sense. They're cheering the hope, however fragile, that someone else might finally deliver results. But here's the danger. When military leaders become popular, it doesn't mean they're accountable. And when coups are celebrated, they become contagious. So the applause we're seeing today, it may be masking a deeper problem, a collapse of faith in democracy.
A lot of Africans do not seem to understand that this very campaign against the person of Ibrahim Traore is not just being waged by the West. I'm talking about France, UK, Europe, and of course, America. This narrative, this anti-Traore rhetoric is also being pioneered and orchestrated by some African leaders. Ask me how. Do you remember what the past Ghanaian president said during the time the former U.S. Secretary of State visited Ghana, Anthony Blinken? Do you remember what Ghanaian President Akufo-Addo said? That the directorate, he was now appealing to the United States for their intervention in Ghana. I think most of you must have watched that very video. He was appealing to them that the direct threat they faces right now, that Ghana faces, as at the time, was coming from Burkina Faso. And he was now appealing, to the U.S. Secretary of State for their intervention to help Ghana combat this latest threat. That was the word of the former president of Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now he is no more, and I think the current president, John Mahama, has taken another approach with regards to the Sahel region. But let us face the fact. The point that I'm trying to make right now, or right here, is that this anti-Traore rhetoric is also being sponsored by some African leaders. It's not just about France, UK, and of course America. No, there are Africans here. And I'll give you another example. The president of Cote d'Ivoire. Anything that France wants to do right now in terms of combating the so-called threat coming from the new Sahel Alliance, they are targeting Ivory Coast as the territory where they can station their troops and also make their plans in order to know how to attack Mali, Niger, and of course Burkina Faso. Why are they using Alassane Ouattara? You have to realize that Alassane Ouattara is now doing his third term as the president of Ivory Coast. Alassane Ouattara was democratically elected by the people of Ivory Coast. You remember when he had issues with Laurent Gbagbo during the time there was huge crisis in Cote d'Ivoire. Then after his tenure, he contested again and he won. And the Ivorian constitution only allows two presidential terms, in the constitution. And after his second term, instead of him to leave office, he now decided to amend the constitution in order to remain beyond his term limit. And guess what? He was supported by France. In the same way, France supported the child or the first son of Idriss Déby to become the now president of Chad Republic. So this is what is playing out. So he is their puppet there, and they are using him to try to see how they can unsettle these new Sahel countries or this Sahel alliance, so to speak. So you have to understand that this rhetoric, this anti-Traore propaganda is not just being waged by the Westerners, that the hands of African leaders, especially those that was democratically elected, so to speak, are all there. Because the more Traore is performing, the more development he brings to Burkina Faso, the more he has refused to borrow money from World Bank and of course the International Monetary Fund. Then it exposes the corruption in those countries where their leaders are also going to borrow money, irrespective of the fact that they have more than enough mineral resources to be able to sustain their country. So you can see now why the threat and this propaganda against the person of Captain Ibrahim Traore is not just coming from the West, but it is also being sponsored and orchestrated by some African leaders.